So it's end of March, snow is finally melting. There's a little bit in shady spots. And we got this property in September, and it kind of was a mad dash. By end of October, we already had snow, no firewood. So firewood, we basically got firewood, and then it was wintertime. A lot of projects left to do on this property. Kind of wanting to make a video series on just projects. I'm restoring a 69 Charger, restoring a 69 snowmobile, and then I just picked up this 1981 Toyota, and it's got the 22R factory power steering. It's got the long box, which I have off currently, and no, it is not going to be bobbed. Really the only rusty spots, and it's kind of on either side, is right where that body bolt goes. You can kind of see down through on that side. Of course, any older 80s Toyota that I find is kind of in the same situation or worse. Out of Colorado, is it Colorado? A place called Yoda Parts. I got a couple sections that I'm getting out of 1986 Toyota, and though the pictures look a little different, I'm gonna have to kind of fabricate something, and at least that gives me kind of the base to use for fabrication. So that's kind of, before I take the cab off, I want to get those cut out, welded in, so I kind of know a depth on those bolt holes. That's my game plan. So this thing, I'm not totally restoring it, but I can't stand the thought of fixing something and then leaving this rust, especially right in here on Toyotas. I've already fished out probably 1.5 inches or so of dirt in these frame rails. So I'm thinking, unless I can find something better, Eastwood makes it's kind of a process, I guess. It's an encapsulator, comes with like a 2-foot little plastic hose, and that's currently what I'm planning to do inside the frame where I can't reach. So as soon as I can get my cherry picker here, I do want to pull the motor and lift this cab up off of the frame so I can completely coat inside and outside of the frame, and do as thorough as possible. I've already pounded out some of the dents. There really wasn't that many, and I'm not actually worried about every single dent on this thing, but I'm going to paint it the blue, the exact same blue. It has been painted. The original color was blue, and then they repainted it blue. Little dent there. I pulled out the back window, pulled out the front window, and I have yet the little skylight, which they permanently sealed on there. So I'm gonna have to work at getting that out. I'm not gonna take the inside back to factory interior. There's some cracks on the dash. I haven't determined what I'm going to do with that. So this is the latest project that I have going. I've got the bed under a tarp, and then my 69 snowmobile hood. It's a Scorpion snowmobile. I've been doing fiberglass work. It was pretty beat up. I've got it almost done, and then I got to get that primed and painted, and then I've got the metal work yet on the sled. my new welder. I have a 220 welder, but there's no 220 in this shop. So, and it's a little bit hot for sheet metal. So I got this, I'm gonna try. Unfortunately, money's always the issue. So part of also what I do is, what I'm trying to do anything is I do on a budget. So I try to do it halfway decent. I see a lot of videos where people just are spraying the underneath of their frames, the underneath of their vehicles, hit what they can with a wire brush. I really can't stand the thought of doing that. So I'm trying to hit the middle of the road, I guess, and keep it on a budget. A tree had fallen on the front of this Toyota, and with a hammer, and nope, not even auto body hammer, I actually got the body lines back in, got it pretty well in place. A professional could probably do this without doing any Bondo. I intend on using a little bit. Pretty much got this body line back. It was really dented in. I'm not an auto body person, so for me, getting it to that level, probably all I can do, without, especially without the slap hammers and the dollies and all that kind of stuff. So my goal is to get this project done fairly fast. I don't really want to, like my Charger is taking years. I really don't want to take years on this Toyota. When it's done, it's still going to be just a farm rig. It's not a show piece, and it's not a wheeler. It is not going to be bobbed and that kind of crap. We acquired this place, like I said, in September, right before winter, and we have plans. We've got tons of chickens, and then currently in the house in incubators we probably have close to 100 chicks. So our plan is to slowly work on it. That's going to be the future garden area. I had planted, we have forest land behind us, that's ours. I planted 100 trees up in there, but unfortunately the deer have annihilated them, and I haven't found a good affordable way to, I know you can, people say, hey, put fencing or something around it, but how do you do that for, several hundred trees? So I've got to remedy that. So this is kind of our project. We had pigs until they got out of their fence one too many times. So they're now in the freezer. I was going to make a video of that process of cutting them up, and also I have a little smokehouse, and I like to cure meats, but timeline, it just did not work out. These guys here, I got 2 sheep there and 1 goat, and they were bottle babies. We're still just trying to wean them off the bottles. But our goal is to kind of have a garden, a mini farm. We're not remote. We're sitting on quite a bit of land, but we're not remote by any means. Neighbors up there just building a monstrosity across from our hayfield. So I got to get up there and plant trees to block off that monstrosity view. I'm told that this place was back during Prohibition. The guy ran a kind of a distillery, and you probably won't see it back in the shade, but there is a really old root cellar kind of right back in there, overgrown. Our plan is to refurbish that, rebuild it, cut down some of the trees that are growing out the top of it and use it. Everything is slow going. I work a regular job, just like regular people. 2 kids that like attention. And so I'm hoping to start up a channel doing videos on kind of how to show my process of doing the snow sled, the Charger. This Toyota will be first. And then also in the house, it's kind of going to be a long working project. First thing we had to do when we moved in here was fix the drain lines. Nothing drained. So on a weekend, put in a new toilet and fix some of the drain issues. I now got to jack up the center of the house. There's a monstrosity of kind of a wood stove with kind of somebody made their own rock work, and I think it's over time kind of just sunk the house. So that's the very first thing on the house to do, is kind of jack up that center. So then I can kind of branch out from there and do different projects. This is what we're using for a chicken coop right now. It's not the chicken coop, but one process that has to happen this summer is this barn back there is going to be our future chicken coop. We're going to extend it out the back another 10 feet, make it 10 feet longer, take those doors off, and kind of revamp it into a chicken coop. And the goal is to kind of have runs coming out both sides. Other than that, no plans for the back forest land, other than if I can manage to add different varieties of trees. I planted some cedar up there. That seems to be what the deer like most. There's also moose in there. And then we had some eagles in here the other day eating on my leftover pig, you might say. So I'll try to update this channel. It's just not even really up and going yet. So that's kind of the process. But with this Toyota, I got to get the engine cab off. I'm actually gonna get the leaf springs off. I've already taken the shocks off, so that basically it's nothing but the frame. I'm gonna take the driveline, muffler. If it's not the frame, it's coming off. And then we'll go from there. When I get my new parts in, I'll make some video to kind of show whether an 86 floor pan is successful or not. That